me get the mic. Honey, I got something to say. Ooh, I like that. Can you turn that up for me? No, like, it's Maja. But you know, Maj for short. Ask Maj.
What's up? What's up? It's your girl Maj, and we are back with another episode of Ask Maj, the podcast, where I am spilling all the real tea. Hey y'all! Okay, so if you're watching this on YouTube, I know you're probably like, why you got all this gear on? Child, I've been outside moving stuff. Bae just moved into a new place, so I've been outside helping him. So I came right in, sat down, and started recording because that's what we do, okay? We get straight to it. So that's why I got my little scarf on my head and my jacket is still on. But the show must go on. Y'all, it is let me see. What's today? Wednesday. New Year's is, let me see. Let me look at my calendar. What, Friday, I think? Okay, yeah. So Thursday the 31st, and then New Year's is Friday. So tomorrow, y'all can be hearing this tomorrow. So it's gonna be 2 days to New Year's. Oh, 2 days, yeah. 2 days until it is 2021, a whole new year. And wow. I feel like when you're going, I guess, through each day, it seems to go so slow. But like, when you think about it, I guess, you know, from a bigger picture, when those days actually go by, it's like, wow, that went by so fast. But wow, like, it's really about to be 2021. And Lord knows 2020 has been a wild and crazy ride. Like, I don't know about y'all, honey, but I done cried a lot. I've smiled a lot. I've learned a lot. And of course, as a result, I have grown a lot. And so I don't know what to expect in 2021. Like, I know what I want. Like, I know what my goals are. And y'all know I'm big on manifesting, you know, so I'm manifesting those things. But, you know, I am expecting the unexpected in 2021. And so I'm excited. You know, it's scary, but I have faith. I'm trusting in God. And I am excited for what 2021 has in store. And of course, COVID ain't going away anytime soon. So I think we'll still have to deal with COVID in 2021. But that's okay. I think that's okay. That's okay. And, you know, that leads me into my Maj moment. You know, I pondered for a while, but when I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, this is perfect. Like I said, you know, I've grown a lot. I've learned a lot in 2020. And because of everything that we've been through, like, I just been reflecting on so much that has happened this year. Like, honey, we thought this pandemic, quarantine, COVID thing was going to be a 2-week thing. People went to the grocery store, racked up on toilet paper. And here we are a year later and we're still in this mess. Like, it's just like, wow. So we've dealt with COVID. You know, I know people personally who have contracted the virus. You know, we've been in a pandemic. We've been on lockdown. You know, you have to wear a mask everywhere you go. Like, masks have become a fashion statement. Like, just social unrest. We saw the horrific death of George Floyd and many other Black lives, Breonna Taylor, just, you know, and not even to be funny or to make light of the situation, but I was in my first protest ever, because the world has been, you know, in this state of social unrest. We've seen protests, things just going up in flames. Like I said, and it's crazy to think that I went to my first protest this year. Like, you know, I was on a work call one day, you know, shortly after the passing of George Floyd, and we were just talking about it. And I remember just breaking down, crying on my work call, you know, because I just was talking about, you know, George Floyd and, you know, all of these Black men and women who, you know, who have passed away and have had their lives taken due to police brutality. You know, and it just really made me think about, like, my brothers and my family. Like, George Floyd, like, that could have been my brother. Like, so just thinking about that on top of a pandemic, you know, people losing their jobs. I thank God that I've been able to keep a job. I thank God that I've been able to pay my bills. I thank God that I am still alive. Like, just looking around and seeing how many people have passed away, and not just from COVID. When you think about your loved ones, you think about civilians, you think about even celebrities that we have been impacted by. We look at like Kobe. It's just like, wow, Chadwick Boseman, and the list goes on. It's just like, wow, just. And it's not a good thing, some of these things are good that you learn from. And then some of these things is just like, wow, I can't believe we really went through this. And just really just like reflecting and like looking back over everything that 2020 has. It's just like, wow. I feel like we done seen it all. Like, let me tell you something. What's the big animal, gorilla, King Kong? Honey, King Kong got to walk through the city for me to feel like something new it could possibly happen, because I feel like I've seen it all in 2020. Like, I've seen it all. But anyway, I'm rambling. It just brings me to my Maj moment for this week. Use what you learned in 2020 to conquer everything in 2021. Like I said, I just was like reflecting, just thinking about everything I've been through and everything that I've seen and witnessed and experienced. And like I said, honey, it ain't nothing I haven't dealt with in 2020. I feel like everything has been so unexpected, right? Like, you really don't, you just don't know. Like, it's just been so unexpected. I feel like every month has been a new thing. I've seen people, make the joke about like, Jumanji, and, I just, again, really like just an escape room. Like, I feel like, we've been in an escape room, making it to each level, and each level was just different, harder, a bigger challenge. But anyway, I just feel like there's nothing I can't do now. Like, there's nothing that I can't conquer, going forward. And so in that, I'm just taking everything that I learned in 2020 and using it to conquer everything that's thrown at me in 2021. So my moment of the week, of the day, of the month, of the hour, of the year, for however long you need it, is use what you learned in 2020 to conquer everything in 2021. Yes, I'm so excited for this new year, though. I'm so excited for what 2021 has to bring. I'm excited. And like I said, I'm expecting the unexpected. So moving on to Ask Maj. So this is really special to me. This question is really special because I got it from a friend of mine that I went to college with, and I won't put her name out, but I know who this is. So shout out to you. Thank you so much for submitting this Ask Maj question. This is literally why I started my podcast, because I wanted women. Don't get me wrong, I love our men. I love y'all. But when I first started, my target was really women. And, being millennial Black women, and I feel like we relate on a lot of the same things, as it relates to career, lifestyle, relationships. Like, we relate on all these things. So my purpose in starting the podcast was to use my personal experiences to offer advice to you. So if I've gone through it, I'm happy to give you advice on what I learned, what I gained, and in hopes that it inspires you in some way, that it motivates you or gives you some sort of solution to whatever it is that you're experiencing. And so I'm so glad. Thank you so much that you find value in what I say, in my opinion and in my experiences, and the lessons that I share with you from my experiences. That means a lot. That lets me know that I'm fulfilling my purpose, somehow, some way. So anyway, this is a great question, very specific, but hopefully somebody listening can relate in some way. So she said, "Hey Maj, what advice can you give to someone who wants to do a complete career change and enter the communications and journalism field? It wasn't until after college, working in my field, when I realized that my natural talents are really my passions. I don't have the mindset that it's too late. I just don't know where to start without having to go back to school. Help, please." Okay, so child, communications and journalism is right up my alley, child. I got 2 degrees. Okay, humble brag. So number one, I would say understand that comms, communications, and journalism. If I say comms, I'm referring to communications. It's just an abbreviation for communication. So when you think of comms and journalism, it is so broad. It is so broad. Like, communications is digital, marketing, PR, storytelling, writing, journalism. It's broadcast journalism. It could be behind the scenes journalism. Like there's social media content creation. Like there is so much that falls onto this communications and journalism umbrella. So before I say, I guess you think about really stepping into it, figure out what you want, figure out what your niche is. What about communications do you love? You said in the question, I realized that my natural talents are really my passions. So what are they? What are your natural talents? What are your passions? What do you love about the communications and journalism field? And I always try to look at it as like, what are my passions? What am I good at? And how can I use those to help somebody else? And that's kind of like how I frame my career. That's how I kind of shape my identity in my career. So figure out what you want. Narrow down your niche. Like I said, communications is so broad. And the good thing about it is you can maneuver, through the communications and journalism industry, right? Like you can have experience in all of those. You can get experience in all of those. And that's pretty much what I've done. Like I've done it all when it comes to communication and journalism. And I feel like I have so much more to go. But I think when you're starting off, it's really good to find your niche, like to find a niche, figure out what you want. And even if you feel like you want to do everything, just figure out one thing to start with, right? Like, because like I said, communications is so broad. So narrow down a niche, figure out what your passions are, what your talents are, and how you can use those to contribute to somebody else, how you can use those to help somebody else, and then kind of shape, like I said, your niche, your brand identity, and what you want to do going forward. And when you narrow down your niche, you're able to figure out who to network with. You're able to figure out what jobs to apply for. You're able to figure out how to tailor your resume, all of those good things. So we'll get to that in a second. So number one, I would say, figure out what you want and really, really narrow down your niche. Number two, honey, research. When I tell you any question that comes to mind, Google it. Google. And I think this is really good to do once you narrow down your niche. Because once you narrow down your niche, like let's say you want to do social media management or content creation, you can start to look for those jobs within that particular, I guess, like niche. So you have those keywords: social media manager, social media specialist, social media, coordinator, or content creator, digital marketer, digital creator, digital producer, like all of those things. So once you narrow down your niche, you can really start to research these jobs, what these jobs are looking for, what the job description entails, what the job position entails, like all of those things. You can research folks who are in, if you think of, your overall vision or your overall goal, you can research folks that are in those positions and figure out where they started and go from there. Literally research whatever comes to your mind, research it. Whatever questions you have, research. After you've researched and gathered some, I guess, information about what it is you want to do and what that particular industry or field or position or role entails, network. Now's the time to like reach out to people. So this is a really good step, just like reaching out to me. Hey, what advice do you have? This is the same thing, use this same kind of method to talk to people who are in the field, in that industry, in roles and positions that you are interested in. And that's what I do all the time. I am huge on networking. Matter of fact, not too long ago, I was able to get in touch with a director of strategic communications at Warner Media based in Atlanta. Just reached out to him on LinkedIn and he wrote me back and we set up, some time to chat. I was able to talk to director of communications over at Howard University. And he's been mentoring me, in my career as well. And it just in my journey. So network, find people that are maybe in a role that you are interested in, or, find people that are in not even necessarily roles that you're interested in, but think about your overall goal. So if you want to be the director of something, you want to be a media mogul, you want to be, whatever, look for those people that are in those leadership and positions and in those higher roles, and reach out to them. Network, keep their email, make those connections, go out to lunch, ask them those questions, the same questions that you're Googling, ask them too, because they can give you some really good, advice and guidance on how to move forward and land these roles that you're interested in. Next, I understand that so first we got, figure out what you want and narrow down your niche. Next is research. Third is to network with folks in your field, in your industry, in your areas of interest. Next, I know that you are starting kind of fresh in the communications and journalism field. So you want to make sure that you tailor your resume and experience to these roles that you're looking for. And obviously, you know, I'm not sure if you have any experience or not, and that's okay. But find ways, and this is what goes back to like research and networking. But you have to find ways to tailor your experience to these roles that you're interested in. And if you feel like these are your natural talents or these are your natural passions, I'm sure that you've done something related to comms and journalism in whatever field that you're in. So you have to kind of tailor your resume and your experience to kind of match those roles that you're interested in. It could get a little tricky, a little complicated. And Chow, hit me up if you want to work off the scenes with this, because I would love to help you on that. But yeah, you got to make it seem like you may have not been in a communications role, but your work is aligned with communications and journalism. So you could definitely do that. And then lastly, honey, go for it. I love how you said in your question, you know, I don't have the mindset that it's too late, honey. Good. I'm so glad. It's never too late, honey. Never, never, never too late. Life is really just one big experiment. If you ask me, like you're steadily trying new things, learning new things and growing and doing that same process all over again. So honey, go for it. Do it. And of course, keep me updated with your progress. I'm so excited, honey. I love everybody in comms and journalism. That is my space, honey. That's my thing. So it's exciting to hear that somebody I went to school with is transitioning over to the bright side. Oh, but no. So I hope this helps. Just want to go over it one more time. Again, figure out what you want and narrow down your niche. Research. Network with folks in your industry and in similar roles. Tailor your resume and your experience to these roles and positions, and go for it. So yes, if you want to talk to me off the record, you know, I'm happy to do that. I will help you all the way through. If I can figure out how to get you a job in this field, I will. Absolutely love it. So I hope this helps. And again, thank you so much for submitting a question. And, you know, I'm just so excited that you saw value in something that I said, that you were inspired and felt like I could help. So yes, moving on. So I don't have any celebrity tea or any hot topics to discuss. I really just wanted to reflect on this year. Like I told y'all before, you know, I've been doing some reflecting. So I really just wanted to talk about the 5 lessons I learned in 2020. And, you know, the Maj moment was, you know, about using what you learned in 2020 to conquer everything in 2021. And so that's kind of, you know, what I want to do. So I want to go through 5 lessons. I thought about this, I reflected, I pondered, and I came up with 5 lessons that I learned in 2020. So number 1, I think we can all agree, honey, life is too short. You know what? I watched this, that movie. It's called Sylvie's Love. It's on Amazon with Tessa Thompson. I can't think of the male character's name. Great movie. Definitely suggest you check it out. But there was one thing that he said, and my boyfriend and I have been just saying this back and forth to each other. Life is too short to not spend time doing what you absolutely love. And so that's how I feel. Child, we have seen just deaths on deaths this year. You know, like I said, I've had close family and friends who have contracted the COVID-19 virus. I've seen folks and, you know, just been on social media, and I have some friends who have lost loved ones, and it's a scary thing. It is a scary thing. And it just reaffirms that life is way too short. Life is way too short. So I say all that to say, honey, love on your loved ones, give them their roses while they are here, and spend more time doing what makes you happy. Okay? Spend more time doing what makes you happy, child. And what's this a quote? It's like, if it won't matter 3 years from now, don't spend 3 minutes on it or something like that. Child, use that. Love on your loved ones. Give them their roses while they're here, and spend more time doing what makes you happy. So that's number 1. Number 2, honey, your plan may just as well be different. I don't know if I said that right. Let me stop ad-libbing. Your plan may be different from God's plan. Child, have y'all ever heard the quote, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans? Child, let me tell you something. I learned that all up and through this year. You know, the thing is, it's good to set goals. You know, it's good to plan. It's good to manifest. It's good to tell God what you want. But a lot of times you guys may have the same goal. You and God may have the same goal, but the journey looks a little different. And sometimes our goals are small and compared to what God wants to do for us, and how he wants to bless us. So that's why I said going into 2021, I am expecting the unexpected, child, because I don't know what God got planned. I feel like every time I make a plan, child, he just write that thing and be like, child, I got something else. Like, this ain't it. This was cute. I feel like he be up there laughing at me when I be making plans. Like, yeah, this cute, but I got something else. So just going into 2021, expect the unexpected and trust God in the process. Trust God in your process, because a lot of times I think, we make plans, we're manifesting things, and then when they don't come to pass, it's like, God, what in the world? What happened? I thought we was on the same page. And little do we know, God is like, girl, I got this. I got something else. Your little plan was cute, but I got something way bigger. I just need you to trust me, okay? So your plan may be different from God's plan, but you got to stay faithful. You got to believe, and you got to trust. Number 3, honey, don't be afraid to push your limit. I think, one thing about 2020 for me, what I have experienced is that 2020 has given me back so much time, right? And not only has it given me back so much time, it's one of those things where you don't know how much time you spend on just being on the go and other things. So really sitting at home and like sitting with myself, I've realized that I've had time to plan. I've had time to schedule different things. I've had time to include different things in I guess that's the same thing. I was getting ready to say schedule things and include different things in my schedule. And I've just had an opportunity to really push my limit, to really expand my capacity in the pandemic. Because it's just me, me and me, honey, me and me. And so it taught me to really push my limit, see how far you can go. Obviously, self-care is always going to be my number one priority, but see how far you can go. Really push yourself, really challenge yourself to get to where you want to be. Set those goals that are realistic, that are attainable, but that are going to be a challenge for you, and really, really, really push your limit. Honey, outside of your comfort zone is where the magic happens. So push your limit, expand your capacity, and see how far you could go. You'll be amazed. I promise you will be amazed. So number 1, life is way too short. Love on your loved ones and spend more time doing what makes you happy. Number 2, your plan may be different from God's plan. Expect the unexpected and trust God in your process. Number 3, don't be afraid to push your limit. Outside of your comfort zone is where the magic happens. Number 4, child, this is one of my favorite ones. You have to believe before you see it. Child, that's all manifestation is. That is all manifestation is. It's setting a goal, manifesting it, even though you can't see it. Child, your faith has to go way farther than what you can see. And I tell people that all the time. I'm like, you have to really, as crazy as it sounds, you have to believe in what you can't see. That's it sounds crazy, but that's where the reality is what you can't see. But you have to believe it. You have to vision it. You have to set a goal and see it. And not only do you have to see it without seeing it, but you got to see it before everybody else, because God gave you your vision, your purpose for a reason. Everybody else is not going to see your vision and your purpose. So child, you got to see it before you can actually physically see it. Your faith has to go farther than what you see, and you have to manifest what you want, even if you can't physically see it. Child, envision it, honey. Put it in your brain, write it down, put it on a wall, and I promise you it'll come to pass. I promise you. And then last but not least, number 5, be prepared for what you ask for. And I say this because it kind of goes to, manifesting and, asking God for different things, expecting things, in the new year. A lot of times we ask for things and it's like we're asking God over and over and over, we want this, Lord, I want this, Lord, I want this, Lord, I want this, Lord, I want this. But we don't anticipate what he's going to take us through to get what he's asking for. We don't anticipate how we need to get ready and get prepared for the blessing that he has coming our way. And we don't anticipate the magnitude of the blessing. What's the quote? It's like, don't complain about what's on your plate when the goal was to eat. That's what I mean. So when you ask God for whatever it is that you want, Lord, I want to pay this off. Lord, I want to do this. I want to do that. Honey, your next prayer should be asking him to prepare you for the journey, prepare you for what you're asking for. And so, like I said, I'm believing that God is going to do some crazy, amazing things in 2021. But I've also asked him to prepare me for what he's getting ready to put on my plate, to be able to accept and enjoy and to be able to effectively handle what he's getting ready to give me and put on my plate. So yeah, be prepared for what you ask for. So 5 lessons. Number 1, life is way too short. Love on your loved ones and spend more time doing what makes you happy. Number 2, your plan may be different from God's plan, honey. Expect the unexpected and trust God in your process. Number 3, don't be afraid to push your limit. Ooh, child, what's going on? My Zoom is acting a little up. Okay. What was that? Number 3, don't be afraid to push your limit. Outside of your comfort zone is where the magic happens. And number 4, you have to believe before you see it. Your faith has to go further than what you see. Manifest what you want, even if you can't physically see it. And number 5, be prepared for what you ask for. I am believing God to do some big things in 2021, but I've also asked him to prepare me for what he's getting ready to put on my plate. So I hope this has inspired you in some way. And even if these aren't your lessons, or even if you didn't take anything from any of these, I encourage you to think about and reflect on what you've learned in 2020 that you plan to carry into 2021 so that you can conquer everything that comes in your way. So I encourage you to reflect, think about what you've learned, how you've grown, everything that you've been through, and use that to carry into 2021 and conquer everything that is thrown your way. So yes, I pray that you guys have a happy new year. Be safe, honey. Take a shot, get dressed, get cute, or whatever. Enjoy your loved ones and just have a good time and just be grateful. Child, we done made it this crazy year. We done made it through this crazy year, and I'm just so grateful. So y'all have a happy new year! Woo, 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 woo! Child, I'm popping bottles right now, okay, while y'all, celebrate. But yes, love y'all so much. And just a quick little announcement, child. January 29th, 2021 will be the anniversary of my podcast when I first started. So I have been podcasting for a whole year. And so I will be ending the season at the end of January. So I got 4 more episodes to go, y'all. So hopefully I'm going to make these really, really, really big and really special for you all. So I'm excited. And I have a huge surprise coming for the anniversary. So y'all stay tuned. And again, have a happy, 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 happy new year. See y'all in 2021. Peace.
Let me get the mic. Honey, I got something to say. Ooh, I like that. Can you turn that up for me? No, like, it's Maja. But Maj for short. Ask Maj.